No, that sounds good.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Do I have your attention? Yes, I do. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We are live from Sahara Ventures. This is the 2021 Sahara Sparks. It's good to see your smiling faces from here. My name is Jocelyn Sigwa, and I will be your host in the next couple of hours. Karibuni sana. I acknowledge the movement on the back, but let's keep it low key. Welcome very much. We are all gathered here on this beautiful day for a Fintech Marketplace. And we are proudly partnered with UNCDF. We have an interesting lineup of speakers today, speaking around the investment landscape for different large and small scale startups within the fintech ecosystem. So karibuni sana. Remember to share your experience socially with the hashtag. Go with me with the hashtag. Thank you. That's the spirit. Future Imagined. Karibuni sana. We are really out of time. So without wasting any time, I would love to call in Mr. Jumanne Mtambalike for a keynote presentation as we are kickstarting the event. A huge round of applause.
I was waiting for you to finish the last four. I thought for singing. Okay, good morning, guys. How are you? It's an exciting Sahara Sparks week. Brother, fungo mlango mzee. Tunaipa AC Dar es Salaam mzima. Okay, great. So for some reason it's hot because we constantly kept that door open. Okay, how are you guys? My name is Jumanne Mtambalike. I'm a CEO and co-founder of Sahara Ventures. This all week I've been doing sales pitch of Sahara Venture from Monday, and this is Thursday. Please allow me not to define again what Sahara Venture is. We just have this accelerator. We have a platform called Sahara Sparks for these kind of conversations, and we do a lot of consulting work. That is in summary. My role here is just to kickstart the conversation and also to spark interest and then build a case. Why is it important to do something related to fintech, and why fintech and financial technology and digital transformation is a core of the social economical transformation of the African continent. So this is a recent publication by Google and IFC, which shows the size and the potential size of the African internet economy. It's an economy which is expected to reach USD 180 billion in the next few years. Africa is getting more connected than ever before. Mobile penetration in Tanzania is more than 82%. Almost 40 million people now have access to mobile phone. Access to smartphone is going up. A few years ago, it was just around 66%. I think now we're heading somewhere around 75. Africa is getting more urbanized than ever before. This creates challenges, but also opportunities. We are looking for smart solutions that will allow us to be able to consume different services, because all these people need to eat, we need to wear, we need to navigate. As you can imagine now, moving between two places in Dar es Salaam is extremely difficult. And just imagine in 2030, when we'll be like 11 or 12 million people living in this city, navigating can even be more hectic. The internet economy, the platform economy, the sharing economy, the digital economy, it's a game of not the future, but it's a game of now. Hundreds of millions of youth across the African continent are accessing different services, different opportunities through digital platforms, through different career paths. You have influencers, you have social media experts, you have content creators, you have photographers, you have hackers, you have Forex traders, you have all these new types of career coming out from the Africa internet economy. Platforms such as Instagram, WhatsApp, they're completely transforming the traditional businesses and traditional SMEs and how they operate in the continent. Hence, it's imperative we pay serious attention to the advancement of science and technology, as well as how the internet economy goes. Those are some interesting numbers from Pence. 70% of the global mobile money transaction in 2018. Global mobile money transactions, 70% of them happen in Africa. More than 50% of the old registered mobile money population is based not in Africa, but in sub-Saharan Africa. 20% of adults in the continent have a mobile money account. 18 billion plus Africa electronic payments industry in terms of revenue that's being generated. 70% increase in the e-commerce in the African continent in the past few years, with all the challenges, because in Africa, e-commerce is not an e-commerce business. It's literally a logistic business. If you crack logistics, then you crack e-commerce. With all the logistic and navigation obstacles, still the industry is growing. 39% smartphone penetration expected to rise by 66%, as I said, by 2025. And if you think someone is going to steal your fintech ideas and you're dead, there are more than 600 plus fintech startups across the African continent. They are across different areas. They're in e-commerce, they're into savings, they're into consumer services, they're into B2B, they're B2C, they're into deliveries, they're into health and fintech. So it's a very diverse sector. It's an ecosystem which is growing really fast. And there's a lot of publication and insight online compared to any other segment of the African tech ecosystem. If you wonder why we're wasting our time to discuss fintechs here, so these are some of the major deals that happened in 2020. For those who are following, Cheaper Cash is fintech, Fruitaway fintech, Sendwave fintech, DPO fintech, Paystack fintech, Jumo fintech. Should I continue? These are all the major deals that happened in the African continent in 2020. And I'm talking 100+ million investment deals. So discussing and strategizing about fintech startups and the ways they're transforming the African continent is crucial for obvious reasons. These are some of the most funded fintechs in Africa. And actually, this is very interesting. So companies like Paga have raised more money than an average bank in Africa. Do you know how much is the capital of a bank in Tanzania? Like how much money you're supposed to have to start a bank? $10 million. So how many banks do we have there? Mine, Yoko, Zuna, Fruitaway, Paga, CarePay, Opay, Cellulant. They have enough capital to become banks in any market in Africa. So that is what is telling you what is happening right now in terms of the level of disruption that is being brought by these companies. Again, why are we discussing fintech? Because it's also the most funded sector by far. You can see this is according to Quartz Africa, 22.9% investment that is coming to the continent is going where? Is going to fintech startups. So if you are in a fintech company in the room, keep working hard because that money might come to you. So again, we did this study after a conversation with some banks and startups in Tanzania, trying to understand how banks innovate. Again, banks understand the pressures that fintech is bringing. Some of them straightforward say we are looking to partner and acquire the fintechs. And some of them, bila aibu, they even said we are going to create a barrier of entry. because they're going to disturb us and disrupt us. And some they say we're going to start our own internal incubation program to start our own fintech companies to compete with existing fintechs. So the obsession is real. Like, okay, how are you going to innovate? It's like, okay, do you love that girl? No, I hate her. And then you start to talk about the whole family and everything else. So it's like that. Then you don't even have your own strategy. Your number one strategy is just to take care of the fintechs. So so it's happening, but we are actually encouraging not competition, but strategic collaboration between the fintechs and startups so that we can, fintech startups and the banks, so that we can be able to create the intended impact. It's obvious the kings are still kings. So most of the money still goes to Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, and Egypt. And I'm very sure different players in this ecosystem are looking to fix that. I'm seeing Fungo in the audience. They're looking to address the funding and the technical support gap in the ecosystem. I'm seeing UNCDF, they're looking to do the same thing, coming up with strategies and tools to help startups in Tanzania, but also stakeholders in the sector in one way or the other to capitalize on the opportunity. And yeah, so Sahara and other partners in the ecosystem from the public sector, from the private sector, are also looking to do the same thing. How do we bridge the gap and move Tanzania from those third-tier countries where nobody talks about them in Africa when it comes to fundraising and startups to top-tier countries? And this cannot be done alone. So next time they decided to scrap off the kings thing, the Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa, and say, okay, let's find another acronym because this is no longer working. Maybe teachers are coming in for Tanzania. So one of the countries that dared to do that is Egypt, because Egypt has repressed Ghana in this equation. Initially, it was Ghana there, but most of the deals and most of the transactions that are happening recently are going to Egypt. And for obvious reason, they are strategically located. So they also capitalize on the capital that is coming from the MENA region, Middle East and North Africa, but also they have a serious population compared to other countries. Again, we cannot run away from capacity building and skills development. These four countries also have another thing which is very, very common among them. And this is a number of software engineers produced in their market. So for example, in South Africa, you have more than 120K technical engineers, which means if you want to start a startup and you're a non-technical founder, around you, there are more than watu laki moja ambao they can help you to code your solution. I don't know how many do we have in that. Kenya 60K, Nigeria 85K, and this again is according to Google and IFC report. So we need to intentionally develop capacity and build skills of most of the African youth, zooming in Tanzania, if we really want to capitalize on the fintech economy, because you have to balance between the technical and non-technical founders. So skills is an equation we need to address. And then number of hubs, again, the kings have the largest number of technical hubs compared to other African countries. Again, so if we want, beyond just having hubs, we need to have hubs with a strong, robust programs that ensure strategic exits of businesses and also access to resources and tools that can make them become investor ready, because that's the most important part. And those numbers according to GSMA in 2018. And finally, we need those regulatory sandboxes framework for Lusania. So we need to find a way to allow our businesses to be able to effectively capitalize on the market without subjected into those unnecessary obstacles and bureaucratic procedures and red tapes that will prevent them to be able to succeed. The goal is to create an environment where anybody can work in any public office with any innovation, and it can be tested and deployed and create the intended impact. And that is the goal, because if you do premature regulation, what you do is you literally kill the innovation. So that being said, welcome again to Sahara Sparks 2021 Future Imagine. And looking forward for exciting conversations as well as presentation. Asante sana.
Asante sana, Jumanne. One more round, please. Jumanne Mtambalike. So there is money there. Roger that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're really out of time. I do not want to take much time, but please let me call to the stage a key representative from our esteemed partners, UNCDF, Miss Ivana. Please, karibu.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Ivana Damjanov with UNCDF. Thank you all for coming here. I don't know about you, but I really feel like change is in the air. And Tanzania is on the cusp of something new. And could it be a future reimagined? Last week, we were at the Tanzania annual in ICT conference sponsored by ICTC. We saw the full new Ministry of Communications and IT represented. There's plans for new cabling and broadband into the regions. The hubs and accelerators are moving out to secondary cities. We have the new national switch, which is just launched for interoperability. We've got the post office, which is starting up its one-stop centers. And then we also have two funds, innovation funds, that are coming out next year, which will be really exciting. So all of this kind of to show you that there's a lot of things happening in the space. We're building momentum, and we are at UNCDF. We're really excited and happy to be part of this growth and contributing to it. Primarily, we're going to be doing this through three of our key areas, through enabling policy and regulation. We're working also on open payment systems, and then also through financial innovation. And this is where you guys all come in. Because you're here, it means that you've demonstrated or showed us that you believe that the financial innovation is the way to support growth in Tanzania and to help build an inclusive digital economy. And we will hope to be partnering with you, as this is kind of the way where we're starting, is understanding what your needs are, looking at how we can support you, identifying gaps, weaknesses, but then also looking at the collaboration amongst all of the key stakeholders so that together we can help Tanzania achieve its goal of an inclusive digital economy. So I look forward to hearing your pitches today. I look forward to working with you guys in the next few months, in the next few years, and forming those partnerships and building a stronger digital economy. Thanks.
Thank you, Ivana. Asante sana. I'm trying not to talk much. It's really past 10 and we are really running behind time. But again, we are very happy that you're here. It's Sahara Sparks 2021. This is the Fintech Marketplace. And as we're going on, let's be ready for the pitch wars. We have 4 exciting, brilliant founders who will be pitching about their progress and what they're doing. So let's stay hungry for that. Right? I'd love to call into the stage a very interesting panel discussion that will be moderated by our very own Musa Kamata. Woo! He has been part of the ecosystem for quite some time, and as a co-founder for Sahara Ventures, he has some interesting questions for our panelists today. I'm gonna start with our first panelist, who is actually a champion and a co-founder in the ecosystem, a co-founder of Innovate Hub, Miss Mercy Murithi. Please, a huge round of applause for her as she walks to the stage. Karibu, you can just grab a seat. Next in the line, we have someone who has a lot of history in the fintech atmosphere. He has been in different platforms, especially in Sahara Sparks with different years, different themes, and we're very happy to have him again, Mr. Edie John. Mr. Edie John, everyone, the founder of Safari Wallet. Finally, someone very interesting who is also playing part as the hub manager in the Hub of Hubs. Do we all know the Hub of Hubs? Let's hear it. The hub manager of Buni Hub, Patience Karua. Karibu. So, Musa, on to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jocelyn, for the quite introduction, as well as to welcome me on stage to moderate this kind of excited panelist. Good morning, everyone. Hello, good morning, everyone. Are you excited? You look like you're tired. Okay, so with this panel, we are going to talk about early stage financing and creating pipeline of investment-ready business. I think this is quite an interesting topic that we're going to talk about. There has been a lot of discussion going on, especially when it comes to startup. So startups are saying like, you know, there is no investment to the ecosystem, as well as investors. They say like, okay, we're looking for investable startup, but in the end, we can't find a startup to invest in. So I think looking to the pipeline of investment in Tanzania is quite interesting, at least to hear some insights and view from the panelists. As Jocelyn has already introduced, we have someone from Boone Innovation Hub. The space has been there for almost quite some time, as well as we have someone from Innovate Hub. But also we have Ed John, who has been to the startup ecosystem for quite some time, has got a vast experience and knowledge. So I think this is going to be a very exciting discussion. So first, I would love to ask you the panelists, but before then, I would like to give a round of, maybe you introduce a little bit about yourself in terms of the organization, what are you doing? In a sense, when you are going to respond to some of the questioning, it makes sense also with the audience that we're having here. So I think maybe I should start from there, please.
Yeah, my name is Mercy, and I'm one of the co-founders at Innovate Hub. We started about 3 to 4 years ago. And what we do is that we provide an incubation program for early stage startups. And we also have a venture building program for when they complete the incubation program.
Yes, I guess it's on. If it's not on, they can let me know. All right, so good hello everyone. My name is Edie John. I work at Safari Wallet, and my boss is here as well. So basically what we are doing is we're actually helping local Africans to achieve, to buy their dream holidays. So I'd say, assume you want to travel to any destination in Tanzania or outside of Tanzania. And one case could be you cannot afford to pay everything at once. So you have an opportunity of actually booking a holiday in advance, let's say for over 12 months before you travel, and you can pay slowly by installments. Think about paying $10 every week for 40 times, and then you can take your family on holiday. That's pretty much what we're doing. Thank you.
I think I'm the lucky one. So I'm from Buni, and what we do is we work with innovation spaces. We support them through Hub of Hubs program, and also we work with startups and we support them through talent pool program, where we do mentorship, we give them access to different network platforms, as well as access to seed funding, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for that quite exciting introduction. I'll go straight maybe to Aski. As I was saying, like we are having this kind of discussion going on when it comes to investment landscape in Tanzania. As I think we have had something from the keynote that Jumanne has provided here, that we have kings, I mean, Kenya, Nigeria, Egypt, South Africa. So they're leading when it comes to investment. But here in Tanzania, so we're having some quite of challenge a bit. Oh, I don't know why Tanzania is not among of the kings, but that is another discussion for another day. So what can we do actually to fix this when it comes to producing more investor-ready business in the ecosystem, startup that are very can be, you can find more startups that are going to be attracting more investment in terms, because the challenge is investment. They're saying like there's no startup to invest in, as well as startups. They're saying like, you know, we have business, but we don't have investor to invest in. So how can we fix this when it comes to investment pipeline? Is maybe I should start from Innovate Hub. Maybe what do you do to fix this, or what can be done actually to make sure that we get something which is quite interesting, and of course.
Okay, yeah, I think it works now. Yeah, so one of the Innovate Hub flagship programs was the Idea Marathon. I think most of you have heard it. We worked in collaboration with the Smart Labs. So what we noticed was out of like 100 of the startups that applied, only like 10 managed to finish the program. And even after they finished, there was that question of what next? So they've gone through the incubation program, they've had mentorship, they've built their MVPs, they have an awesome pitch deck, and they can go present to investors. But there's always that question of, do you have, what's your revenue? What's, how many customers do you have? And most of them have none. And there's a lot of startups like that in the ecosystem right now. And to be honest, I don't think any investor wants to invest in a startup that just has a pitch deck, no matter how pretty or awesome it is. So we as Innovate Hub, what we started doing is we started a venture building program whereby we take these startups that have gone through our incubation program, and then we as Innovate invest in them to help them become market ready and to at least build a scalable business. And then we start helping them look for external funding. So that's one of the things that we as Innovate Hub are doing to ensure that there's a pipeline of startups.
Yeah, thank you so much. Eddie John, you have something to respond because you also represent the startup. So I think you might have something quite interesting to share about.
Yeah. So for me, I might probably differ. I think we don't have, when it comes to investment, especially in Tanzania, I'd say we don't have a structured way on how a startup can be funded. And that's open and clear. Because the only way right now you can access funding in Tanzania as a startup is through a grant competition. And I think that is not a stable way for any startup to survive in the market or try to do whatever they're doing. Okay, so the same way, for example, let's talk about NMB launch Sandbox. So we can play and do whatever we want as a fintech. We don't have Sandbox for money, for fund, to try our own products. So we can actually say this is actually working MVP, and we can go to market knowing exactly it works. The cost of investment that each startup invests, the first one is actually sweat equity. Time itself is money. So assuming if you're not acknowledging that, I took my time to invest in my own startup, which I don't know what I am doing, and I'm actually learning. I'm on a learning period without money. Also, that's a problem. So as much as there is Innovate Hub and other startup hubs, I think they're using the same model of funding, whereby giving you grant. And to today, if I ask the same questions to lady here and her, I'd say how many startups have been connected to external funding, as she said? It's also an answer that I'd like to know, because we don't have many startups that have been funded or qualified to be funded, definitely. But what are we doing to help these startups to be qualified to be funded with those who we call investors? Because as much as we speak up to today, we don't even have an angel investor forum in Tanzania that has Tanzanian investors, which means also we have a problem whereby the angel investors of Tanzanians, they do not know what it means to invest in a startup as an angel investor. I've met quite a few, and I can share my experience. That's all I can say. I'm sorry if you can't.
Yeah.
Food has to be said.
Yeah, so it is heavy, but let me, maybe my colleague here from Boni, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
really
something
heavy.
to share. Yeah, please.
it's okay.
Karibu sana dada.
So I think the first thing first of all, we're supposed to have program for early stage startups, which are really qualified, like having a mentorship program as a hub and having skilled people to mentor the startup, to be the market fit, and then to have the MVP, which can be invested or that is one of the important things. But also, as Buni, we have been trying to connect with different programs, including size, whereby we support early stage startup, and then they get access to go to Finland for boot camp, and then they get to pitch to the investors. So I think that the main important thing is to having program to build these startups first, like having program which they can be in a good position to go to the further support to the incubators or acceleration program and investment programs. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think to the audience, if you have a question or anything, please just keep it. I'll provide some few maybe minutes at the end, and then you can chip in. So thank you for that. I would like to go again to ask, like I've heard from you from the discussion that Innovate Hub, you're doing quite interesting stuff. As well as John had shared some of the experience and what should be done, as well as patients here. So how can we have a very meaningful collaboration and partnership? Is here we have Joseph, representative from Funguo, of course, with the setting up investment funding, as well as UNCDF, they're coming in the picture as well to come at least to solve some of the gaps in the investment ecosystem. So I think it's quite interesting, as well as we have my sister here, Joanne from Apps as well. So how can we build or how can we come up with a very meaningful collaboration and partnership when it comes to investment pipeline? Maybe I should start from you then.
Yeah, I think it's very important for the innovation stakeholders to communicate, like knowing what Innovate is doing, knowing what Sahara is doing, and having some sort of pipeline communication platform where we know that Innovate right now it's giving seed funds, so that I cannot give the same service to the startup, because what we're trying to do is to duplicate what everyone doing in the ecosystem. So if we have a platform where we be able to communicate and know who is doing what, that would be amazing.
Thank you so much. Eddie John, maybe you want to go?
Okay. Yeah, so when we started Innovate Hub, there was very minimal collaboration. But lately, you've seen hubs working together so that, like she said, we don't duplicate the same programs, the same, or even supporting the same startups, because there was a point you'd find a startup at Innovate Hub, and then they'd be at Buni, then they'd be at Seed Space. So I'd say we've made a lot of progress in that area, in that we have less duplication and more collaboration, and we are so grateful seeing stakeholders such as Funguo and UN really supporting the startup ecosystem in Tanzania. It's quite impressive.
Okay, Edie.
So I won't be harsh. I'll say is this. I think there are a few things to change if we really want to go together as a Tanzanian ecosystem. All right. As she said, that before you hear Innovate Hub, Seed Space, they do the same things. You know, it's either a grant competition. That's the only model. All startup ecosystem or space that are being opened in Tanzania, they do have. I've never walked into a space where they'll tell you, okay, we are actually interested in what you're doing. We're going to help you to go to market with MVP product, and then you're going to give us 6% or 10% as an equity for the coming 5 years. If there was such a model, which is supportive, you could actually help a single startup to go to market, because at the first stage, that's actually the biggest problem, to be online, to be right there, to be seen and start getting your first customers. All right, so my idea would be collaboration should be a key, should be an answer. Not only that, but also all stakeholders, as well as the startups themselves, to be part of the thinking design where you hack around the best way to fund startups. Not only that, also that will help to change a model for innovation spaces to actually be sustainable. Because most of them, if I'm wrong, they can correct me again, they've been highly dependent on donors' fund in order to run their programs, which it turns startups become their products. So they are selling us, and I'm being honest, which does not work. And at the end of the time, I'm working on a program and somebody's bringing a mentor who graduated. I'm not saying it's a bad thing from University of Dar es Salaam just last year to mentor me. I'm not saying that I'm not that knowledgeable, but that I can see that it's a challenge. Somebody who's mentoring me for the next 90 days is actually wasting my time for a $5,000 grant. There are some programs they come out and we do not apply. It's for that particular reason. I'll give a case of my own startup. I am a travel fintech. If you go to some donors, they do not fund tourism. Why? Because they're overlooking it. They think it's a luxurious sector, but actually it's one of the sectors that employs a lot of people in Tanzania and Africa in general. So since donor is interested in health and wash, then Safari Wallet, you are doing nothing. And that's because the structure is actually aligned that way. We don't have any other way of accessing fund, but not only it's supposed to be a grant, and it has either been funded by UNDP, HDIF, mentioned organization. And these are the same funders that we know. And they've been funding the wrong way, to be honest with you. So if you sit down as the ecosystem, the first thing you do, identify the problem, designing the best possible solution that we can pick and say, okay, this is how we're gonna go. Then we implement and then test if it works. And we can pick few startups. I just don't want to knock a door to be invested by competing with other 10 startups that are also good as I am. But it will be okay, Edie. For now, we probably think you need $20,000. $300,000 is unrealistic. Okay, we're gonna hire, what do you want? I need technical skills. We're gonna hire you, these technical people, and we're gonna pay them for you so you can be here. Can we change that model? Innovate Hub? Sure.
Yeah.
Because we can, to be honest, it's really painful. And I want you to emphasize on one thing.
Yeah.
As much as you teach us to understand our customers, to be on their customer shoes, we are actually your customer.
Yeah.
But you do not know us. You don't understand our pain.
Yeah.
You think you're doing something exciting for us, and you don't care about us. That should change. You really have to be on our shoes, because imagine as a founder, frustrated for over 7 years, working on the same project, and it's not there. And Mr. Joseph asked me, Nilikupa Joseph funds, I don't see here. Why? There are a lot of mistakes pool. You hire people who are not skilled, challenge. You get fund $20,000, it's sinking. How much have I invested? Over $50,000 of my own savings, and I'm not yet there. And now you're telling me I'm not qualified. Why am I not qualified? You're also part of the problem that I am not qualified to be invested in. It hurts.
Yeah, before actually this panel.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Elio was telling me like I'm very controversial, but today I will try to turn a bit down. He's down as well. So thank you And I think this joke actually, it's been like all over there. Like we have more visible innovation space or innovation hubs than the startup for investor-ready startup. So I think this is one of the discussion that actually is going all over when it comes to a startup and innovation hub. So I think, so what kind of very discussion that we're supposed to have in between like startup innovation hubs? Because when we say about the investment pipeline, we involve a lot of partners, right? So there is innovation hubs, there's startups, there's banks, VC, angel investors, and all kind of. And very unfortunately, in Tanzania, we have got this Tanzania 10, yeah? Tanzania angel investment. Yeah, so I think, and of course, if we are looking to address this kind of a challenge, maybe because I have 3 people here, I would like to pass the mic as well to get to hear, like, how can we have a very meaningful collaboration and partnership? Because Joseph Manilakis is here from Funguo. I know that you weren't prepared to talk, but I think it would be quite interesting to hear kind of a strategy you have when it comes to have a meaningful collaboration and partnership, as well as we have Faith, she's from Tigo, as well as from TSA. But today I would like, she would respond from the TSA kind of, as well as we have Joanne from ABSA, and my dear sister, Annette. I think if you give us at least a round of how can we have a very meaningful collaboration and partnership to address this kind of investment pipeline challenge that we are seeing here. I think you have had some of very insight from the panelists. So should I start with, yeah, John, please. No worries. You can go ahead. Then I'll come back to Joanne.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Annette Kasebele from UNCDF. I think I wasn't prepared to talk, but I can share some of the examples of how we have approached this kind of challenge in other markets. So all of you know, I was based out of Rwanda for 2 years, and where we did something similar, setting up a FinTech accelerator hub, whereby we managed to work with the ecosystem, so the existing hub in the market, to see how we can support FinTech to access different type of support services. So on the technical front, as well as forging some partnership either with other UN agencies or other partners, and facilitating milestone-based type of grant. And I think I hear you, Edie, when you talk about how we are funding in the ecosystem. Of course, we had used a similar approach of like getting some to apply. Of course, we want to get commitment from the startups that are coming into the acceleration. And I think going through that application process kind of like triggers that you are showing us you are committed, you're going to be with us for the next 6 months. And we did a different type of approach. It wasn't one for all, one size fits all. And we essentially looked at, because companies are coming at different stages and they do have different needs. So we wanted to ensure that whatever support a startup is getting is tailor-made to their needs. So we'll go through a detailed diagnostic assessment when you enter the acceleration, whereby we get to know you as Safari Wallet, for instance. What could be your possible needs that needs to be addressed for your company to get from stage A to another stage, let's say in the 6th month, that you be part of the cohort. And it was structured like that. And it's easy in the sense that because we would take like 5 companies per cohort, so it's easy to work with you one-on-one. to ensure that we are tying to, or we commit to certain number of milestones that can be achieved in those 6 months. And in that, the grant that is given is going specifically to address some of the things that we think you have raised as important to you. And based on your discussion with us, we agree that probably it's something that is feasible to be achieved in the time that you are part of the hub. And I mean, it has only been 2 years. It's difficult to say how successful it has been, but I think it has really tried to support startup to go in a certain direction. Even the hub that we have worked with, you can see like this kind of partnership, how it has managed to change the dynamics within the markets and so on and so forth. And we are looking forward to sort of like replicate the similar model in Tanzania. And yeah, so stay tuned. And we are happy to get feedback if you think something like that probably in this market will need to be tweaked a little bit. That will be, we are open for feedback too. Thank you.
Ooh. Yeah, big round of applause to my sister. Yeah, we say there is also a right at the end. So Joanne, please, from ABSA, how do you feel like this is going to work when it comes to collaboration, partnership, to this soil investment pipeline? How can we address what kind of meaning, collaboration should have?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joanne and I come from ABSA Bank. So for me, I think I would say platforms like this, the one which we are currently having, can help in terms of identifying who are the main stakeholders to partner with. And I can give an example, for example, from a bank or a financial institution's perspective. We have been wanting to have fintech partnership strategy. However, we are not clear where should we begin, who should we contact, who is in a position to help us get there. So I think having such a platform is like this one can help. At least here we get to meet relevant stakeholders in the market, in the ecosystem, and we have some sort of a direction on where exactly should we begin with. And as I said, for us as ABSA Bank, we are fairly new. So we are honestly extremely grateful for such a platform. And additionally, I think for me, it's the bi-directional communication, is how do institutions like us communicate with the fintech, and how does the fintech communicate with institutions like us? So I think those are two areas which I believe can help to drive collaboration amongst institutions and the startup ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. So now I would like to ask my dear sister here from TSA, please, do you have, I think you might have something to respond to this, please.
Thank you so much, Musa. I'm not the spokesperson for TSA, neither for Tigo at this moment, but I speak as a fintech enthusiast. My career has actually been defined on a fintech space for over 12 years right now. I'm a product of Cellulant anyway, when it comes to fintech innovation. I told Joseph, this is a tough discussion because it's real. And it's good to hear it from the startups, you know, because they're the ones who are feeling it. I'm a startup too, in so many ways. And I'm also coming from a fintech background. And right now I'm working with an incubant company that I struggled so much while I was in fintech space to push products and ideas to the banks and also to the telcos. Cellulant happened to be one of the companies that enabled the integration between the banks and the telcos when it comes to mobile banking and integrating the wallet to bank, bank to wallet. And I think that was the time that collaboration between banks and mobile money providers really started. That's like 10 years ago. So I just want to say 3 things, and just in perspective based on my experience. For collaboration with private sectors, I know the NGOs and development partners, talk about fundings and all that. Fintech startups needs to package themselves and position themselves really to work with private sectors. That's the only way we can scale. And I'm really loving what I'm seeing from ABSA right now. Actually, I was so impressed knowing that ABSA is really part of the Sahara Sparks 2021. I like the involvement. I really loved what I'm seeing NMB is doing right now with the sandbox. It has shaken everybody. It has shaken my company. It has shaken everyone. Like, okay, what does this mean? And personally, I love it. It's beautiful, but I don't know what it means and what it means to startups in Tanzania. One thing that I see working from the telco side right now, I work with partnerships and I work with a lot of startups and fintechs. I come in a very personal way when it comes to this because I really want to see a lot of ideas coming out, but packaging. I travel a lot and I'm having a project right now running with Fly Dubai to take more people to Dubai for Dubai Expo between now and March. I never heard of Safari Wallet. It's so unfortunate, but I like your energy because I come from your show. I was really laughing and enjoying what you were saying, but I say like, let everybody hear what you're saying because that's what startups are really going through, And actually, I have a proposition for you. Yeah. Yeah, so way forward is positioning. I want to encourage all the startups. How do you package your ideas? When you come to me with an idea, you need to sell it to me before I sell it to my management. Most startups, yeah, it can be beautiful. It can have potential, but I have KPIs. I have to meet a budget in 12 months. So why should I invest time to listen to you and support you to take your product forward? And another thing that I really see is missing is business skills. Ideas are good. Even we have products. We launch products every day, but taking them to the market, even for big companies, is difficult. If I share you numbers, I know Tigo, we're doing a lot right now, Kibubu, Nivu Share, micro-lending and all that. But scaling is tough. So imagine for a company like Tigo, banks are launching a lot of products, but it's hard to scale. How do we get these things to a normal Tanzanian, a typical Tanzanian? How can I make a Tanzanian sale? How can I make a Tanzania buy insurance, micro insurances? Packaging is something that is missing. So even right now, I'm trying to look at it from the startup's perspective. How do we create business modules that really look at the customers, the potential customers who are, I don't like to use the word illiterate, but they are excluded in so many things, especially when it comes to financial services. And startups have a very bigger role to play. We call it Silicon Dire. Every opportunity when it comes to financial services in Tanzania runs between Mwenge and Poster, right? That is not the whole of Tanzania. Don't build a product that's just, white collar people, medium class salary earners. Now, go to Mtwara, right now especially. In the next 6 months between October and March, those people keep up to 30 million, 40 million, 50 million in their houses. There are only one branch for NMB and CRDB in Tandahimba. Do you know how many billions are transacted there? These people are financially excluded. Can you build a solution that you can tap into that opportunity? It's a challenge. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Joseph, I think you have something to share about this because Funguo now is coming in the picture. Please, can you share with us some of the few remarks on this?
Yeah, thanks, Musa. And I think, as you said, we're just crashing somebody else's party. We're not supposed to be in this one. But since I've been given the mic, I think I'm going just to react on some of the things that have been said. Probably we are going to discuss more in tomorrow's event. One, let me just say that I like Edie's raw emotion, because that's exactly what we would like to see. And he raised quite a few pertinent questions and real issue that we are dealing with within the innovation ecosystem. He talked about collaboration. He talked about the simmering kind of beef between startups and hubs, which is actually real. And I think it's high time we talk about that. He talked about development partners or development programs actually funding the wrong things. Debatable, but he's right. At some point, I felt like he was actually talking about me because he mentioned some of the programs we've been funding as HDIF, but I actually like to hear it exactly the same way he actually let it out, because I think all of us who are acting within the innovation ecosystem actually make mistakes in the process of actually doing the right things, which is normal. Maybe the biggest mistake we would make is not listening to this kind of feedback. And I think we are right that probably do not create a lot of listening avenues to actually get this feedback and be able to actually build on it in designing the other programs. So that's something that basically I'm actually going to take back to, because right now we have, I think, an opportunity as Funguo, as we are still designing it or maybe redesigning it in a way that's going to work. So we want to go back and engage more because, well, it's something that even when you are kind of working on this side of the financing bit or support bit, you actually feel it's like, okay, I can see something really good, but I don't have probably means or I don't have instrument to actually support it. Because as Faith said, she also has KPIs to meet. And we also have like some of the guidelines we have to follow. So the best we can do is probably to get as much insight from the ecosystem as possible so that we can be able to influence the way the instrument actually get designed. Because otherwise we are going to keep on working and you don't get inroads. I know that we actually don't make progress. I think there's progress that has been made, but probably it should be tangible enough. I think one thing, especially when it comes to collaboration, that we should actually do, and that's a challenge to everyone who's actually working with on the development partners kind of angle. I think there is a lot of duplication, and that's really right. And I think it's high time that we actually talk to each other, be candid to each other. They say just the same way the ecosystem is being candid to us. Like, how can we actually put together all these efforts so that we can actually be able to have tangible impact for the people that we are serving? Because it doesn't make sense, for example, let's say UNCF come to you today talking about something similar which, to what UNDP is going to talk about, or the Swiss are going to talk about tomorrow, to what the Netherlands is also going to support tomorrow. So why not pull those resources and those efforts together to can be able to support? So I think that's just food for thought for us. That's something that we need to really work on at the moment, and probably create an avenue to actually listen more, to kind of get all this feedback, to kind of go back and design program based on that. So that's just one. The second one is on, because I mean, Funguo is going to be working with innovation hubs. I mean, innovation enablers in general, not just hubs. And it raised a question that I'm always asking myself, like, okay, how do we support these hubs and enablers to actually provide relevant support to startups? Why are we not seeing as many startups as coming out of the hubs as we see more hubs coming up? You know, how do we make sure? I mean, sometimes I always say that we kind of feeling being unfair to the managers of these hubs because probably they don't know any better. So what can we do to put them to that level that they actually can be used for the startups? So that's something that I think we are going to consult more at the ecosystem to actually know exactly what can we do. Otherwise, we are going to keep on coming up with programs, with initiatives that actually don't work. And of course, money is going to be, it's being used, but is it being used for the right cause? So I don't have answers. I don't have strategies. I'm just listening, and definitely something which is actually going to help us to go back to the drawing table and design more. But we'll be getting back to you and listen more, get more feedback, and so you can help us. Asante.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, all of you. this is tough, eh? Yeah, so I think because we are running out of time, and how would like first of all to ask maybe takeaways with you guys from the panel here. What is your key takeaway from this? So wherever we go, then we think of that. So I think it's quite important to have that. At least 1 minute is quite enough. Eh? Yeah, so maybe I should start with my sister there.
Yeah, so I think mine has been a burning issue since Edie spoke. A few shots were fired, but I'd like to clear the air on some things, on certain things. So there has been actually it's a takeaway I've taken away from all this, that there's a certain misconception about the role of hubs. So for instance, I'll give a very good example. When we say Innovate supports early stage startups, we are talking about guys with just an idea. And that's not Safari Wallet. It's people who just came out, they just have an idea and they have no idea to start. And something else that we actually do that I don't think people know is that we invest. In fact, on our website, any logo of a startup you see there, we've invested. And when we invest, it's our money. So, and by our money, I'm not talking about the grants that we get from the likes of Funguo or HDIF or the UN. It's personal funds that we've worked hard for. So when I put my money in a startup, I'll speak in Swahili, nitamshika mkono, because it's my money, right? And I want to see these things succeed, because when it succeeds, then I get my payback, right? So just to clear, the startups, of course, we have all these programs where startups apply, they go through mentorship. In the end, the startups that we actually pick to join our venture building program, we actually invest in them in exchange for shares. That way, we literally have weekly meetings with them, KPIs, milestones, how far have you gone? How much have you developed? And the other thing is that we have in-house devs, because Innovate Hub is a tech hub. We support tech startups. So we have in-house devs who are literally on our payroll to support startups in building their MVPs. And it's not the likes of Safari Wallet, it's small startups. And I've also seen startups that just started as an idea, and we invested in them. These startups in Mwanza, like Famboxi, I'm sure some of you haven't heard of them. And we invested in them. Now Famboxi is exporting fruits and agriculture products. But nobody knows about that because they've not been out here pitching their ideas, because they can finally make some profit to fund themselves. So that's just the clarification I wanted to make around this whole discussion.
Thank you so much. Quite interesting to hear that. Edie, how can you draw a conclusion with this?
Thank you for mentioning that. I really want to jump on ABSA first before I go. And I think I've been in one of the ecosystems I visited before was actually South Africa, Cape Town. And ABSA is actually investing a lot into fintech in South Africa. Not only that, we were sitting on a space where each innovation hub almost in South Africa, they have a model where they can actually fund you. That's what exactly you're saying. Meaning what? With a fair kind of amount of equity they will take from you, right? We've seen one program here, I think it happened last year. I won't mention the company. The first document they sent out, so it's actually a mobile company. They were actually looking forward to take 50% from your business. And now, giants, they're telling us they want to collaborate with us. My suggestion should be this. We should actually learn faster as the ecosystem as well. We don't have to sit here and design from this side as well. We can go to Nigeria. Some can go to South Africa, adapt the knowledge. What exactly are they doing different? Just a week, we come back and collect everything. It's hackathon, thinking about changing everything in 72 hours. And then we come up with a very strong model, and everyone accept where is actually exactly their position and role to play. So we might, avoid the mixing. UNDP does this, Nathan do this and all that, as you said, Mr. Joseph, right? And I think that would actually bring something we can all celebrate together after. It won't be, oh, Safari Wallet, you failed. They start pointing, all right? Or Innovate Hub, Seed Space is better than you. There's no such things. And I think also not only that, other programs should be started to teach angel investors. I'm actually saying that again. Why see Startup School? Why Combinator Startup School? They have programs for both founders and investors. Some of the investors we have in Tanzania, they don't know what it means to put 50 million. I'm not lying. I saw some of the tables like, I'm going to take 7% of your business. They don't even understand at what stage we are, and you have to start teaching this person. All right. So there is TAME. I'm not sure if we've seen results from TAME. We need all this data to come on the table so we can say, okay, where are we going wrong as an ecosystem? And we're not pointing on one place only. If I'm not knowledgeable enough to position my company, and she said she's supporting me, then she hasn't done a great work. It's the same thing. So if we go together, if we tell you our problems, and we all find the similar problems and solve them together, now we'll be carrying Dar es Salaam, Tanzania as an ecosystem together as collaborators. But rather than Safari Wallet, pivoting by themselves, we're probably going to raise funds in South Africa and we are successful, but where's that money coming from? That's it. Not much to say.
Thank you, Johnny. And yeah, so probably patience, maybe a little bit history background. So she works with Buni, as where also my career started way back. So patience. I hope you have something. Can you draw the conclusion? Give us a takeaway that everybody at least knows where do you stand as Boone and your perspective on this discussion.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Edie. But to finalize this, I think what is important is, again, the enabler to define clear activity of what they're doing so that the startup can be clear, knowing where can I get what. Like, you can come to the early stage hub and then expecting to get an investment program support. So enabler has to define clear role, clear programs and what they're doing, but also startup has to understand what enablers are doing, because sometimes we open call for early stage business and then we find people who are in the commercialization stage applying for the same application. So I think clear information between startup and enabler, it's important. Again, the collaboration part for enabler in order to support the startup well, it's also important, having like different sessions where enablers engaging, discuss, and see the strategy on how we can support the startups.
A round of applause to the panelists. Thank you so much for your contribution here, sharing some of the very varied experience that we've been having with the audience. I wish if I would have enough time, then I could pass this mic as well to the rest of the audience who didn't have a time to share some of the inputs, but because we are running out of time, so I would really like to get this mic back to Jocelyn to continue with the program for today. Thank you so much. My name is Musa Kamata, a co-founder and chief operations officer of Sahara Ventures. Also, I'm a startup.
Guys, they did better than that. Now let me get some energy for you. Please, a huge round of applause for this brilliant panel discussion. Creating a pipeline of investment-ready businesses. It's like a Pandora box. We call it a conundrum. But brilliant ideas, brilliant insights, and thank you very much to the panelists. Thank you very much to the speakers that were able to speak about the subject. But the key takeaways is that we need to work in collaboration. And I know that UNCDF being here, Funguo being here, TSA being here, maybe it's time to put things on the table and start discussing the way forward. So we are now about to get to the exciting part. I would love to acknowledge our audience that is participating virtually. We know that you're here, we acknowledge you, and we are happy that you're here. This is Sahara Sparks 2021. Please remember to share your experience virtually with the hashtag Future Reimagined. So now, as we're about to get to finally hear our pitches, the pitches for the fintechs, guys, are you good? Hi, the guys pitching. How are your heartbeats? All good? Yeah. So I would love to use this time to call to the front the panel of judges that we'll be having today. And I'll need you guys to give me a lot of support and a lot of energy from your end. Can we do that? Yeah? I'd love to call on these seats. First of all, Miss Joan Beyela. She's the head of customer experience. She's the customer experience design manager from Absa Bank. Can we please walk her to the front with a huge round of applause? Karib Sana, she's going to be our judge. I hope she's kind. Next on the list, we have another very interesting person who actually shared with her passion about startups and fintech and all the chaos that is already going on, representing TSA and also the head of MFS Tigo. She's going to tell us what that is. Please, a huge round for Miss Faith Pella. Karibu sana. And finally, to the front, I'd love to call our very own Chief Finance Officer. Everything finance, everything money, numbers, he's good at that. It explains the glasses. Please, hands together for Mr. Mzakir Biarushengo as he walks to the front. Energy, energy. Now let's wrap it for all our judges. Thank you. So as our startups are getting ready to present, let me just clearly say the lineup. I know you already know who's first. We have Agnes Mollel from Mipango. Can we just see you wave where you are? Woohoo, there you are. Good. We have Derrick Kasimoto from Afropavo Analytics. There he is. And then we also have Prosper Absalom from Shocket Technologies. Thank you. And we have Mr. Muhammad from Setlo, right? Woohoo! All good. So now, as you already know your order, I would love to invite our judges to say anything before we begin the pitches. Would you like to go first? Karibu.
Thank you so much. Good morning once again. So for me, this is my first time doing this, to be honest with you. So I have not set any expectations. And to the startup companies, all the best. Please give it your best. And I hope once we are done, you will appreciate the whole overall agenda for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I just believe every idea, as long as it's thought through, there are so much possibilities. And I believe you all have opportunities to scale your ideas to the next level. So I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. Thank you very much for coming at Sahara. Me being member of Sahara Ventures, I want to take this chance. Thank you very much for your being here. But I want to also thank the team that will be pitching today for showing up, but also giving you courage. That's the fact that you are here, you're already a winner. And we're going to have few teams that will progress, but the fact that you are participating, the experience, you go with it, will teach you something for the future opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, judges. I hope you're comfortable. You are? You're all set, right? Okay. So, hello, are you with me? Stay with me, stay with me. we're about to begin the pitch wars. I'm really excited. Just some housekeeping rules. For all those that will be pitching here, this is your stage, okay? Like this is your stage. And do you see the guy with long hair? Esther, could you wave? Esther, can you wave? Yes, that's Esther. He will be keeping our time. So when you stand here, make sure that you're also concentrating to him. When it's 2 minutes, he's going to raise up a sign that will show you have 2 minutes. And when it's 30 seconds, he will show you the sign, and that means you need to wrap up. You need to be wrapping up. You're all going to have 5 minutes to pitch, and the judges, our esteemed judges, will have 5 minutes to ask you questions. So there will be on-spot questions. Remember to hit to the point. Are we all set? Okay, then let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sahara Sparks 2021 with the theme, Future Reimagined. And we're now about to get into pitch wars. Without further ado, I would love to call our first startup on stage, Miss Agnes Mollel from Mipango. Karibu sana, please, let's give her a hand.
Good morning, everybody. So my name is Agnes Mollel, and I'm one of the co-founders. Okay, let me try. It's not working. Okay, good morning again. My name is Agnes Moller, and I'm one of the co-founders of Mipango Fintech Limited. Mipango Fintech Limited has built an AI-enabled personal finance management for the unbanked population, as well as we act as software providers for the banked population. So currently, our company is incorporated in the UK, but we have our offices sitting at Dar es Salaam. So the whole idea began back in 2 years back, where me and my fellow co-founders, due to bad spending habits, realized that we had no savings, we had no investment at the end of the year, and this was due to a low level of financial literacy. So we furthered our research and realized that up to 60% of the Tanzanian markets do not know how much they spent in the last week. As a result, they end up in bad debt and self-inflicted poverty. So we know that the financial institutions are quite aware of this gap, but do not have the tools to address this issue. Hence, we decided to build Mipango Fintech, in the sense that we provide e-wallets to our customers, in which they can create different utility wallets and being able to spend within those wallets. They're also able to transfer money, as well as make payments peer-to-peer and merchant payment, get spending analysis, get personalized product recommendations, personalized investment options, and through the AI robo advisory, our customers are also able to access financial literacy. So the market is ready because out of 1.4 billion people in Africa, the smartphone penetration is about 250 million. And in Tanzania, up to 60 million people, the smartphone penetration is of about 19 million. So we have two business models, both the B2C and the B2B model. Sorry. The B2C and the B2B model, in the sense that for the B2C model, we expect by year 5 to obtain at least 3.3 million customers, and for the B2B model to at least activate 7 financial institutions that will be working with them. So we launched the application back in 2020, July, both for the Android version and the iOS version, in which up to now we have over 10,000 organic downloads, and we have who have recorded at least 800,000 expenses records, in which as a result we have 56% of them being active customers. And for the B2B model, we are currently in negotiations with CRDB Bank, who have over 3 million customers that we can be able to tap into, as well as we're in negotiations with DCB Bank and Exim Bank. So there's quite a lot of competitions in the market, But what makes Mipango stands out, apart from tracking your income and expenses, that we have e-wallets to enable our customers to be able to use or make expenses within the e-wallet, as well as we provide financial education. Our app is available in both Swahili language and English language. We intend to help our customers to be able to change their habits, if this is in form of advice, as well as a product recommendation engine. And we also believe that we're very well reversed with the African local markets, and as well as we act as software providers. So we have two marketing strategies, both for the B2C and the B2B model. So for the B2C model, we do not only want our customers to only see us from the phones, or that will be the end of it. So we attack our customers in 3 different endpoints. For the B2C model, from the social media ads and competitions all the way to training events and radios. And for the B2B model, from pitching and having meetings with financial institutions all the way to enabling them to have access to try a platform freely. In regards to our financials, we're currently raising $350,000 in which will enable us by year 2 for the B2C model to at least have 500,000 customers, and for the B2B model to at least have 2 financial institutions that we'll be working with. And how do we make money? So for the B2C model, we make money through in-app ads, as well as we get commissions from the financial institutions acting as sales agents. And for the B2B model, we make money through platform integration, maintaining fees, as well as for every new features we do charge. Okay, so our future is quite bright. We not only want to enable our customers to be able to just track the expenses and manage their personal finances. We want to go all the way to enabling them to have access to loans. We want to go all the way and create Mipango for SMEs and farmers to be able to track their expenses. And after we create all this blueprint, we expect to be able to launch this into other East African countries. So our team is quite reversed, and we have been working together for over 10 years. And we worked in a previously startup that was a micro health insurance that was acquired. That was acquired and have. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Keep going, Tena, come on. Thank you very much. Brilliant, you put in the work. Now, judges, be nice. Karibun for questions.
Thank you. So my question is, how are the e-wallets funded?
So currently that's the feature that we're trying to activate. So we intentionally wanted to partner with banks because apparently we cannot hold the money. So the customers will be, after creating the budget, they'll be allocating monies into different utility expenses that they do want to spend on. So this money has to sit within a bank because we can't hold the money.
Okay.
Yes.
And of course, I know you're still developing the e-wallet feature.
Yes.
Will the person be able to transfer from the wallet to another wallet?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
No question from my end.
Right.
Thank you. Good pitch.
Thank you so much.
For me, if I was an investor, I would normally think I focus on the problem we're trying to solve, right? And that will tell me if the business you have has a pulse, that's life or not. To be honest, I'm not quite sure the problem you're saying, if it's real, or if it's real, then probably you may not be able to explain exactly what's the problem and the solutions you have that are different from the current product that is in the market. Because banks have products, the mobile phones, the mobile company, they have products already. Now I'm thinking the new products coming in the market and I have to fund you. I didn't see the difference that you have, the innovation that makes you stand out from the rest of the product in the market already. So maybe you may want to focus on that, make sure that your products stand out from the rest of the product that are already exist in the market. Yeah, that's for me.
Okay, so maybe I went a little bit quick in explaining what makes us stand out. So for other solutions that are in the market, Spendi and Mint that enable our customers to be able to manage their expenses, their personal finance, stand out from having e-wallets and enabling our customers to be able to spend within those wallets. And we offer financial education to our customers. As well as we have product recommendation engines that recommend products. So in the sense that a person that earns, let's say, 1 million at the end of the month, and the person that earns maybe 100,000 at the end of the month, do receive quite different product recommendations and advice in regards to how they can spend their money and at the end of the day achieve their goals. And applications also available in Swahili language, in local language, which makes us also stands out as well. And we also have product recommendation engines and a lot of other stuff.
Okay. Some more information about it, but I still want to know, how do you compete with the current products in the market? I know you have done your work, you know, who are your competitors and what makes you different from them. That's going to make you really, really make an investor think like, okay, this is a good deal for me. You may have to work on that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So maybe just the last question from me. I know it's an application which is meant to, you know, improve spending habits of an individual. So do you have a functionality in your system, or have you considered to have a goal saving functionality, saying that I want to save a particular, let's say if I want to save it for school fees of my child, I set a certain goal and I work on reaching that goal, and maybe as an application, you keep on reminding me and encourage me to meet that goal. Do you have that feature in place?
Yes, we do have those features. So for first-time customers, there are quite a couple of steps that they do take. So among the steps that they do take is create different goals for themselves. So they could be wanting to buy a land, they could want to acquire a car or start another small business. So they do save so that they can reach that goal. And we, through the AI, we tend to recommend them and tend to remind them on how they can save up and remind them on the day-to-day, daily basis on how to save. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
So have you got the regulator, central bank, at any level of your idea creation?
No. Okay. The last time we consulted them, we were more focused on asking them if there was a license to be able to provide advice. So they told us that there's in the fintech world, there's probably no license for that at the moment. So we just need a couple of people in the board that could be able to guide us in that direction at the moment.
So you don't require any licensing from the central bank?
Yes, in order to provide advice.
Okay, with your engagement with the banks you mentioned, are they allowing you to operate independently?
No.
Okay. Okay, with Mipango, saving is hard in every culture. So how are you embedding that into the typical lifestyle of a Tanzanian, including the saving culture currently working?
Okay, so yes, saving is quite difficult, and for most, as a result, it began as a personal experience because we had not saved. That's why we even built the Mipango solution. So at the moment, what we enable our customers to do is that because we have not yet partnered with any bank at the moment, that enables them to open probably saving accounts. So what we do is that on a day-to-day basis, we send notifications and remind them to save. So we see on the data that so-and-so has created probably a certain goal in order to achieve at the end of 2 years. So we remind this person to open a saving account and save for that specific goal. So once they record, we see, okay, this person has done probably savings, or this person has not done saving this month. So we try to remind them on saving for that specific.
So is it savings or finance management?
Sorry?
Is it savings or
enable
finance management? Because if I'm spending, I buy like utilities, I pay government taxes, I send money to my parents. So I don't know, how do you combine the savings part and the spending part in terms of how do I manage my expenses?
Okay, so we enable our customers to be able to track their expenses and spendings through recording. So I'll just explain. Okay, through recording. So the first steps that the customer does once they download the application is that create different budgets. So there's budgets for let's say Usafiri, manunuzi ya nyumbani, and what's forth. And then after that, they, on a day-to-day basis, once they spend, they record. So once they record, there's the first page, which is the spending analysis page. They'll get to see so there are different bars. So the bar will keep going down and down as much as you record that you have spent on a specific budget that you have created for yourself. And as well as for the goals, you create different goals. And once you save and put money aside for that specific goal, the bar keeps going up and up, meaning that you're probably arriving to the goal that you have set aside for yourself. So we both enable the customers to be able to track the expenses and manage their finances, as well as manage their goals and track their goals. Yes.
Not a question.
Okay.
Rather perhaps a recommendation.
Okay.
And I would speak specifically to an area which it had really caught my eye, having an e-wallet.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of funding or moving funds from the wallet,
Mm-hmm.
I think you should also consider partnering with MNOs.
Yes.
Yes, because they have a higher customer base compared to banks.
Yeah.
And also the scalability of banks is limited when you compare to the likes of MNOs.
Yeah.
So maybe you should also consider that functionality and find a couple of MNOs which you can partner with.
Yes, thank you.
Agnes, you did it. You did it. Come on, guys. Let's hear it for Agnes. Thank you very much. One down, 3 more to go. Derrick, mambo vipi? You ready? So we are still now down to another person. Please let's invite Derrick Kasimoto to the stage. You know your energy rubs off to how he's gonna pitch. Come on.
Hello. Can you guys hear me? Okay, awesome. Before Issa, you start the cloak, I wanted to say something about the audience we have today. It's very rare to find, especially in tech, right? A very gender balanced audience. So a round of applause to everyone. Cool. So my name is Derrick Kasimoto. I have a Japanese name, but I'm Tanzanian. I'm a co-founder at Afropower Analytics, and I'm here to chat to you about what we do at Afropower Analytics and the product that we're bringing to the market. So to begin with, we started off as a management consulting firm in the digital space, providing consultancy in fintech especially. But within our consultancy, we saw the hunger for the market for products, right? And one of our first products that we brought to the market was Tausi. So Tausi is currently ending its MVP stage, and it's a credit risk scoring product. And as you can see, there's other products that we're actually developing, but that's for another discussion for anyone who would want to ask more about them. So the problem we're solving is access to finance. You could think about credit, there's two people. There's the person who gives and the person who receives, right? To solve that problem, you need a person in the middle who can actually say how the other person is worth and to quantify the risk, right? So basically what we do is we're credit scorers, right? So think about Machinga in Kariakoo, right? They have data, but banks are shy to lend them, right? So basically we come in as the middle guy who actually helps banks to lend to this population. So the solution is Tausi. So Tausi is you can think of a credit risk scoring solution for banks, MFIs, so that they can be able to quantify let's say informal merchants, people, smallholder farmers, they can be able to quantify their risk through our service. So basically we do this through data science, machine learning, and AI. So this is kind of like a preview of Tausi from us, the admin. You as the customer will never get this view, but you can see there's a couple of banks, and these banks have credit risk analysts, which they come in. And then once they come in, they're able to quantify the risk of the products they have in the market. So currently in the market size for digital lending is about $9 billion from our research. And in the business of lending, well, it's interest that people make money from, right? And if it's interest that we make money from, the basket count is about $175 million. And the business model that we're going in, as the credit risk horrors, we have a potential of about $35 million. And when you look at this $9 billion, think of it this way, right? This is just digital lending. The biggest banks lend about $25 billion of a portfolio in non-digital way. So this $9 billion is actually growing. So also that means our $35 million as the middle guy is also growing as a market size. So our business model is a revenue share split. Since we quantify risk for banks, MNOs, we take a certain percentage of the interest, simple. And apart from that, we have a subscription as a service for MFIs if they want to kind of like credit risk or as a side revenue stream. So currently our competition in the market are the likes of Jumo, Kunda Digital, Wybex, and FICO. So basically the whole idea is like FICO, but for informal sector, right? So you could see in all of the competition that we have right now, all of the guys who do what we're doing in the market are all foreign. There's no local company doing it. And from our competitive advantage, when you see our team, we're a team which have balance of business development and actually tech to actually provide this sort of service. Starting with our senior consultant, Mr. Rebu Mtahaba, who cannot make it today. He's the guy who was the first country manager of Jumo in Tanzania. And from the tech side, we have me and Sophia, whereby my background experience is on credit risk scoring in a bunch of startups in South Africa. And I worked with Amazon to do self-driving cars, kind of like competition in the AI space. So our go-to-market plan is we have to partner with either an MNO or a bank to jointly develop a product. Once we develop a product, deploy the product in the market, we get that product life cycle management, then we get data of whereby we can actually use to credit score. So the ask is capacity building, tech, marketing, strategic partnerships for the likes of anyone who's in the audience, and advisory mentorship. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's hear it again for Derrick and my microphone. Asante sana. Derrick, karibuni for questions, but remember, you only have 5 minutes.
My question is, how is it from the rest in the market, the likes of Jumo and so on and so forth? How is it different? How does it stand out from the rest?
So basically, when you think about this, Jumo is not selling the credit risk scoring, it's selling the product, the end product, right? Mm-hmm. That product will be the same. It's just the middle guy who can be able to quantify the risk to the bank. So basically, my customer is the bank. I'm supposed to develop the best model or the best end product as a savings product or a lending product that it minimizes defaults as much as possible. So I'm in the business of risk, right? Okay. So basically, it's me being able to quantify the risk and actually develop the best models, right? So what Jumo is doing now, right, can be replicated. And I've done it with other startups in South Africa. It's just kind of like now having a local entity doing the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you get the data?
That's why in our go-to-market, we need partnerships. So okay. Basically, no bank will come to me and say, I want to use my credit scoring system. But if I develop a product for a bank, that I'm in the ecosystem, then I get data that I can score, that okay. The bank feeds off at the end of the day.
All right, thank you.
Very nice speech. Where is TCRA coming in as a regulator? That is sensitive in Tanzania and in the world today.
Okay, so basically we're going through partnerships. If TCRA, we need TCRA, then we'll need an MNO. We don't have the licensing. If we need BOT, then we're going to go with the bank, right? The whole model works off partnerships. What we come in, we will have an MOU with an MNO. If it's a bank, BOT will have an MOU with the bank so that we actually leverage their strengths and network, then they can leverage our services.
Just also to mention, you know, even as a licensed partners, when it comes to data, there's a data protection policy, which is a little bit outside the whatever licensing companies get from our TCRA, talking about data right now. So I'm trying to look at the depth of your research in terms of go-to-market. Have you engaged any bank or any telco right now in the usage of that data? Because if you did, then TCRA must have come to the picture in terms of what you want to do.
So maybe I can circle back. I did not say TCRA are never going to be in the picture. So what I'm trying to say is TCRA are always in the picture. But I think then again, we go to TCRA with the person who is regulated by the TCRA, which is an MNO, for instance. And from our so far journey, yes, we have contacted an MNO, and we are actually in talks to bring something to the market. Yes. Yeah, that's not working.
It's working now. All right. All right, great. Derrick.
Yes.
Good pitch. You explained well the problem. You told us about your competitors, your business model, but I didn't hear any local competitor. You say all are international companies, but there is a company now, it's called Credit Reference Bureau. They do the same thing that you're trying to do. I don't know where they are now in terms of scaling, but they've been in the country for quite some years now. Yeah, I would like to hear more about them, if at all you know them. But also, risk is the reason why African probably market in terms of credit is not open up is because of the risk, right? And if you crack that nutshell, you can be into money. I know that, but it's not simple as it sounds. I know you including technology in terms of trying to crack the problem, but I didn't hear how do you actually do it in terms of collecting data? Because if I'll give you my financial statements, how do you know actually that's genuine information, right? I didn't hear if you have a team that goes on ground trying to do due diligence to make sure the business actually, they've been actually analyzed for real and the risks have been identified and presented to the loan providers and whoever want to provide credits. Maybe you can try to tell us more about that so you can be clear in terms of your business model.
Okay, thank you for your two good questions. The first question you talked about, correct me if I'm wrong, when you said credit reference, did you mean credit info? Yeah. So basically think of it this way. Credit info deal with the banking sector. That's formal, right? That's like 20-30% of the adults, right? The mass is within the informal sector where credit info is not doing. And also for go-to-market strategy is we do not want to go through that route because now we have to undergo the regulation of actually being regulated by the Bank of Tanzania. So basically now we're on the other side, the informal side, of whereby we're trying to solve risk, right, for the informal sector. Hope that kind of like answers your question.
50-50, but
okay, cool. So your second question is talking about how am I able to develop such models of actually solving the problem of risk, right? So I'm gonna paint a picture, right? I think I'm gonna start painting the picture from actually how we get the data, right? So when you're taking a product to the market, let's say a lending product, let's say Tigo Nivushe, right? When you're taking such a product to the market, people will actually, let's say for the likes of Jumo, they'll have data of who's doing what, right? And to what extent, right? From that data, you'll be able to create models, statistical models, or AI models, or machine learning models. They all go through different kind of models depending on the conversation you're having. From that models, you're able to quantify by what percentage, right, your models are predicting default. So let's say if I were to do a demo here, from the models we've made of, let's say, savings groups, right? You're able to quantify, let's say my models is 95% accurate, right? It will never be 100% accurate. So Now you have to create a business case for a model which is 95% accurate. The 5% defaults that you know are going to happen are actually going to be covered by the 95% interest fees from the people who are actually going to pay, right? So that's the business model. So for me to create the models before I actually take it to the market, I need to test it with I need to back test it with data. Then when I back test the data, when I give it to a bank, I tell them, okay, this model is 90% accurate. This is what you ought to expect from it. And then we actually provide a portal for the bank credit risk analysts to actually go in. And then once they go in, they can just put in the inputs of, let's say, what's your average total daily transactions and whatnot. And then from that on, we quantify the risk profiles from A1 to E2. And then after that, the bank is like, okay, cool. Now I'm confident enough to lend to, let's say, Derrick for this amount for this time period.
Yeah, now for me answer, you're complicating the whole situation now. I've got a bunch of questions to ask now.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to think. These are models, right? You feed them data, right? Where do you get the data?
So from the product.
From the product.
Yes.
Let's say, if I have my business and I want a loan from ABSA, for example, right? I come to you to analyze my risk portfolio. What do you do exactly?
So basically, to answer your question, I don't need only your data.
Right.
I need 1,000 different of you. For example, I can reverse engineer how Songesha works on stage, right? Initially, the risk profiles, well, the risk was a bit too high, right? So basically, if you're rolling a product, if you're the credit risk scorer, you won't start with high amount of credit to individuals when you're doing small scale, because you need to understand the behaviors. And you only understand the behaviors once people actually take money and repay. So basically, you'll create a whole model, right, of credit worthiness kind of thing, like a credit health check, right? Then from then on, you run that model for 2-3 months, then you have a repayment history. From that repayment history now, I as a profiler, I have more confidence from my models, right, to actually lend more, right? So basically I create a whole nother model. And by the way, these models are actually being created, let's say every 2 weeks or every week, so that the business can actually remain profitable, right? And then once I create this model, the risk profile is going to high. As you can see from when it started, let's say Songesha, right, and to where it is now. Songesha is lending so much more money to people than where it actually initially started, right? So basically it has to be built up. And from that building up, the statistical models are actually the ones who can actually quantify it. Is that?
Yes, just
Thank you so
briefly.
Much. Yeah, he briefly asked that question, but in my advice, you need a little bit of some research, especially when it comes to the scoring part, because based on what you pitched earlier, it's like you're more likely to rely on the data that's already available to the financial institutions, of which is irrelevant, speaking from the telco side and even from the learnings I have from the banking side, because even the banks now are coming to telcos to see, okay, what data do you have? How can you see? Can we put that together? And I think, should I give an advice?
If it won't take more than a minute, sure.
No, it's just a few seconds. Focus on the informal aspect, because that's where the telcos want to go. That's where the banks wants to go. If you're able to figure out the best way to create a credit scoring model for the mamalishe, for the butchery, for the matchingers, for the hawkers, there you have a business.
Actually, sorry, to answer your question, so that's exactly our strategy. We're only focusing with banks because they have the license to lend, but the focus is MNOs because they have the mass and they have the data, right? So the only reason why our customer or client will be a bank is because the bank has the capacity to lend.
Okay, and that's my cue. Thank you, judges. Asante sana, Derrick. Okay, you did it. Woo!
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we're getting there. I'm gonna continue singing the song. There is my cue. We are live. This is Sahara Sparks 2021, all the way from Sahara Ventures. Thank you guys for being here. We're very happy that you took your time on a Thursday morning today. This is a week-long series of events with the theme Future Reimagined. As I'm speaking today evening, we'll be having another event that will be on AR and virtual reality. Remember to follow us carefully online. We still have the marketplace tomorrow. It will be an exciting week as we're finishing the Future Reimagined week. Again, karibuni sana. We are proudly partnered with UNCDF for this FinTech Marketplace. 2 to go, right? Absalom, where are you? Prosper, that's your cue. Please, let's bring it. Let's hear it. For Prosper, from Shoket, karibu sana.
Hello, my name is Prosper Absarum. I'm from Shoket. We're in a digital transformation era. We are moving from cash to cashless. Business need an affordable, accessible payment infrastructure to help them collect digital payments. Currently, there's a huge challenge for private institutions, especially colleges, to collect digital payments from their students. In a small survey that we did, we found out that 80% of these colleges are not satisfied with their current option of collecting payments. We are building a digital payment infrastructure that can easily be accessed and integrated. This will help private institutions to collect payments through banks, mobile money, and digital wallets from their students direct in their platforms. We are removing financial complexity by making it more accessible, more convenience, and more affordable. In Shoket, we have built an all-in-one payment infrastructure that is connecting colleges with banks, mobile money, and digital wallets. In Tanzania, there are 436 registered colleges, but 80% of these colleges accept payments in a fragmented and time-consuming way. In a research that we did, the estimated total revenue for these colleges are 442 billion Tanzanian shillings annually. And we are charging 3 commission fee for every successful transaction to these colleges, which this will bring us to 13 billion annual revenue when we have hit our maximum potential market. So how are we gonna enter into our market? We're gonna get our customers by quitting them manually and market our product through the word of mouth. So I would like to introduce my team. And the first one is me, I'm the founder. And the second one is Ariad, working on product development. And the third one is Joshua, working on business operation. Our target customers are private colleges, which don't have access to digital payments. The challenge that we primarily get is to get trust from these colleges and to convince them to shift from old payments way to the digital payments. We're asking for $20,000, which will focus more on operations, product development, marketing and sales, and technology. Thank you.
Thank you. You didn't die. Thank you very much, Prosper. Karibu judges for your cue.
Thank you so much, Prosper. So maybe my question is, in the model, in your business model, can you explain a little bit more in how you will involve financial institutions? Because they are the collectors of the fund. So how will you involve them? Like, what have you designed as a strategy to involve these institutions?
Yes, for the meantime, we are partnering with payment aggregators, which is Celcom. And Celcom have partnership with banks and mobile money.
Okay, so you're only concentrating on banks which have partnered with Celcom. Are you looking into expanding to other banks as well?
Yes, we need to expand to all banks which students can pay their colleges through anyway.
Okay, all right. Maybe I'll just ask another question.
Nice pitch. So you just want to target on colleges.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, you're currently working with with Celcom. So with that integration, can you a little bit explain what has been the challenge of onboarding this apart from trust?
Yes. We don't have a product ready to our customers. We have a prototype, which we are doing the integration with Celcom, and we are looking forward to introduce it to our customers.
Okay.
Oh, Prosper, good pitch, congratulations. I quoted somewhere you said you're generating 13 billion. When is that? What's the time frame for that revenue?
Annually.
Annually?
Yes.
From when?
We target that revenue after hitting our potential market.
I mean, down the line, is it 2025, 2023, or maybe current? Are you generating a revenue at the moment?
No, we
No
have
generating.
Yes.
Okay, great. And 20,000. Do you think is going to enable you to start generating revenue?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I have another question. So this is a standalone app. So a user is registered in the app, and then you are doing some sort of back-end integration with Celcom, and then Celcom does the overall reconciliation or posting of the transaction. So, okay, so my question is, I know one institution can be perhaps banking with more than, maybe one college can have, can be banking with multiple financial institutions. So, and because I've seen your business model, you're also targeting merchants, if I'm not mistaken. And the way the merchant business works is, I don't know if you have done the research, the way the merchant business works, especially if they're partnering with a bank, there's usually some sort of an agreement between the bank and the merchants. And the merchants are the ones who most of the times decides what bank or what financial institution is favorable to them. So maybe my question is, how would you address that? How would you address a scenario whereby a specific, a specific, let's say, customer or a specific financial, college is really interested to collect their fund in a specific bank account?
So when we partner with Celcom, those payments which we collect are collected from the colleges into our bank account, and we are responsible for shifting those payments to the bank which our customer chooses.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Have you tried to follow up with the regulations of holding large cash, collecting large cash amount of money from people and holding it on their behalf? And if you're allowed to do that, and what's the mitigation you're going to take to make sure it happens? Because at the moment, I know there is very strict regulations on that.
Yeah, we are working on finding out. We're working on that.
Okay.
Oh, and the time is up. Thank you very much. As Prosper is walking back to his seat, I want us to acknowledge him in a special way. He was the only student among those who participated throughout this program. So for me, that was inspiring, like pushing to the limit. Hongera sana, you did it.
Thank you.
Now you can go. Asante sana. So now we are down to our final participant. I hope he's ready and set. Muhammad, this is your call. You're good. Okay. So our next speech will be from Muhammad from Setlo. Great suit, by the way.
Thank you for the story. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mohammed Awami. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Setlo Technologies. I think everyone knows a shop or business that has always become or remained the same that it was 5 years ago. Do you know that over 90% of small businesses in Tanzania are run on pen and paper? They have no formal tools to use and run on. These businesses are facing huge problem when it comes to getting financial help from banks and other lenders because they do not have powerful business records to back their claim or whatever they want to ask for. Also, they have big issues with TRA because they have to cook numbers when it comes to tax compliance. When they want to lend money or to raise some capital to inject into business, they rely on their personal loans that can be obtained from the bank through their salary accounts or family and friends. Also, they don't really understand their profit and losses. They are run by emotions. There's no data to back them, whatever the claim they make about their businesses. So I would like to introduce to you to Setlo. Setlo is a cloud-based point-of-sale software that allows these businesses to formalize everything. We give them access to digital payments from cash, mobile money, to credit cards. All this done under one platform. At Setlo, we believe in a community and growing up as one together. That's why by using their data from their transaction on all channels, cash, mobile, or credit card transactions, we are able to offer quick access to cash whenever they need a loan to re-inject in the businesses and grow fast. Also, we are planning to make them sell more by introducing BNPL. BNPL is a buy now, pay later program that consumers can use to pay on installments over a period of time. Also, we are giving them access to world-class business tools from e-commerce integration on the fly to a digital bank account as soon as they sign up with Setlo point of sale. Our business model is based on subscription, loans, payment, and processing fees, as well as payment processing fees share we have with our partners. Our team is made up of a large variety of individuals from different backgrounds. We have bankers, telco experts, creative individuals, and engineers. So we have what it takes to take this business to the next level. Competitors, well, we have a Daftari on the street, Excel, and few foreign businesses here, like Square and Yoko. But why Setlo is better than all these? Because we are local, we understand the context of the market. We know these people. These are our friends, our relatives, even ourselves. We are business people. We have one thing going here and there, so we know the problem. It's easy to use and unified. We give them everything they need to run and manage business in one single platform. The market size, we believe there's over 2 million unsaved merchants, both from retail and food businesses. And we aim to reach at least 10% of these in the next 5 years. How do we go to the market? We have a powerful sales team on the ground currently. We also have social media interaction with this audience because we believe in storytelling with these people. We're not talking about features, we're talking about their dreams. We want to give them reason to dream, reason to grow fast. We have partners already. FMAC is our mobile money transaction partner, and Infinios actually is a London-based payment processors who are focusing on MENA region, Middle East and Africa. They are willing to give us all the world-class technology that we need to leverage on in terms of loaning and payment processing through MasterCard programs. What are we asking for? We're asking for at least $250,000 to take to the market. We have a huge problem. Most of these businesses, they do not have digital devices to run on, because mobile phone is not enough. You need a proper point of sale and a setup with a printer, internet connection. We are living in a different world today. You have to connect your physical store with your online channels, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. So that's more about us. That's Settler. Business reimagined.
Woo! That was good. Judges, that's your cue.
Should I start? All right.
Thank you, Mohammed. That was a very amazing pitch. So my question, I would really like to understand if you can explain in a nutshell the customer journey, because I know this is the solution which you are going to embed with the merchants. Can you explain to me the customer journey, if at all it's different compared to what is currently in the market?
Okay. The customer journey in terms of getting on board, right?
No. I mean, in terms of the person who is purchasing for a service or a particular solution with the merchant which has Settler. Is it the same or it is a different one?
It's the same, if I understood your question.
Okay.
Because what you need to get started with Settler is a tablet. You onboard as soon as you create an account with Settler, actually we have embedded a LIPA number for a merchant under you. Mm-hmm. And soon we're going to create a digital bank account for you, so you can integrate all your payment channels in a single platform.
Okay, so you aim at simplifying the merchant's customer journey.
Yes.
Okay.
My question would be, I think, and you can correct me, like when you talk of a POS, it's like we've moved past that. So I want to understand, is the POS the merchant business management system, or is a POS like a point of sales machine? I'm trying to remove, I want to, and for the benefit of the rest of the people to understand,
all right.
Is it a POS machine, like I swipe my card and every information goes, is always the management system?
Traditionally, what we have on the ground is a POS from the bank that allows you to process card payments. But Settler is a combination of two. A business management tool that also has an element to process your payments. So we have both. The POS that runs your business in terms of managing your inventory, reporting, e-commerce integration, all that, as well as taking all kinds of payments, cash, mobile money, which is integrated within the POS itself, and a standalone card reader that comes with it.
I'm a mangi, right? I'm a mangi. I have a mangi shop in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
What's the value proposition to me as a merchant?
At the moment, I'm not speaking to mangis. We are starting up here, going down. Because mangi, do you know the speed of transaction at mangi shop? It's ridiculous. We need a whole new approach to it. Right now, we are focusing on all the shops we find in Mlimani City, Sinza, Masaki, and some other parts of the business. These are hundreds and thousands of businesses which are so beautiful done, but they run on pen and paper. Mangi is the next phase.
I love that. You have a very huge competition. BOT just released more than, I think, 10 PSSP licenses to customers, and I think Stellar is not part of it. Telcos are investing hugely targeting those merchants.
Yes.
So my question is, what's your competitive analysis in terms of how do you position yourself to scale, targeting the merchants in the Mlimani City and core? Today, the whole of Masaki, Celcom has dominated the payment and the merchant business. And you can imagine the volume of transaction actually happening around Kinondoni.
Sure.
And the dominating player right now is Celcom.
Sure.
Yeah. So how are you positioning yourself to compete in this space?
All right, I will answer that as, do you know locally all the banks, aggregators, and MNOs, they are focusing on one thing, payment processing. But do you really know the problem these people facing? Running their businesses. This society is based on cash. Over 90% of transactions are done on cash. Their key pain points are not payment processing. Their key pain points are understanding their businesses, connecting multiple legs of these businesses. Each business has a powerful army of followers on Facebook and Instagram. And do you know how to trade? Inbox and DM me and send it to my personal number. That's not the way to do business. You need to integrate and connect every aspect of a business, from physical store to online e-commerce, WhatsApp, and Facebook. It should come as one that tells a bigger story. So element of payment is just one of it. We are solving a major problem. Their key pain points is running these businesses successfully.
All right. Good pitch. Seems you understand your business, which is good. My question is going to be on the asking.
Oh, yeah?
The amount you're asking.
Yes.
You say you're asking for $250,000.
At least.
At least.
Yes.
Yeah. I forgot about that. So, what's your current revenue at the moment?
Our revenue model or
the current revenue you're generating.
We started rolling out in the last 60 days.
Right.
And we are giving something in the form of a loan.
Right.
Majority of these businesses, they don't have tools to run on. They have Daftari and a pen. So the transition from Daftari to digitizing of these businesses requires some sort of investment. And that investment comes in the shape of a smart, connected tablet to begin with. So Setlo, at the moment, we're giving these businesses loans to start digitizing their businesses. So each business that comes on board, we're giving them a tablet that they're paying in small installments between 3 to 6 months.
Okay. Just to ask, who's financing the tablets at the moment?
Our salaries,
right,
savings, and friends. As we say, we don't have access to money in this market. So our friends and people believe in our madness. They're giving us money to do this.
All right. Great. Thank you. No more questions.
Judges have exhausted. Oh. So guys, let's hear it from Muhammad ambaye hana time na kina Mangi. That was good. That was good. Thank you very much to the 4 teams that brilliantly pitched today. Let's hear it for all of them together with this army. Twende. Woo! Asanteni sana. Sasa jamani, wanasema hakuna mwanzo usio na mwisho. And as much as we've heard all these pitches, hakuna mbio zisizo na mwisho, we still have to decide who goes to the next level, and the judges here are here to do the verdict. So in that order, I would like to ask the judges to go to the boardroom for the verdict. I know it's a tough call, and before that, as you're going, if maybe you have anything to say, just a representative from you about all the pitches and how it has gone. Do you like to?
Yeah, thank you so much to everyone who has presented. And it is really refreshing to see that all of the startups which have presented today are really trying to solve a real life problem. Because, you know, I have just learned this the other day from my managing director. An app is just a software. It's only a solution if it solves a real life problem. So to me, all of you are winner. The future is bright regardless of the outcome today. And I wish you all the best. And we are looking into partnering with some of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That sounded like, yeah, you're good. Okay, good. Asante sana. So let's hear it for the judges as they're going to make the verdict. Amwapigi makofi, guys. Huh? Asanteni sana, judges. So, ladies and gentlemen, and to our entire audience online, we have finished the pitch wars, and now we are going to take a 20-minute health break. Let's please use it for networking and getting to meet more. I know potential investors are in the room, so use this time wisely. This is the Fintech Marketplace. We'll be back in 20 minutes. Asante. Hello. Hello. Trying to get your attention here. So it's about time. We are finally coming to an end, and what has been long awaited is now about to be announced. Again, this is Sahara Sparks. This is one of the events ongoing this week. We're happy that we've already had 4 fintech startups on the stage, and it has been fun to hear from them. We are thankful to the speakers that have participated in the previous panel discussion, and it was a hot discussion about the ecosystem and how everyone can collaborate in a way that brings impact collectively to the startups and the startup solutions that are within the ecosystem. So ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for your attention, for your patience, and for being here to this time. Mega appreciation to our audience that is participating virtually. We are still finalizing the FinTech investment event. And without further ado, I would love to call on stage our chief judge, who will be announcing the winners. Well, we're all winners, right? Who will be announcing all the winners. Yani mnataka aingie haraka hivyo. Haya, basi makofi kwake Faith Bella.
Wow, I'm the one sweating. Oh, I really want to thank everybody for my fellow judges for this opportunity to announce the winners. I understand this was an investor-ready pitch, and that was one of the major criteria for our Well done to Mipango, Agnes, well done, well done. Please welcome on stage. Well done, proud of you. Our winner for this afternoon, a very big hand of applause to Setlo. Mohammed, welcome on stage. Congratulations. Oh, so he should be on my right or left side. I don't know. All protocols followed, right? Well done. Well, very good job. You're welcome. And as I mentioned, this was an investor-ready pitch, and you have been qualified for the pitch tomorrow, and you're going to be the 2 startups that are going to compete. However, from the judges, we are allowing Afro Pavo and Shoket to also do the pitch to the investors. Your ideas are brilliant. We only needed to select 2 winners, actually 3 winners. That's include Afro Pavo. but your ideas are brilliant. And, it's an opportunity for you to stand in front of investors who might or probably want to hear more about your ideas. That's why we're giving you this opportunity. So I would also like to invite Afro Pavo and Shoket. So are there pictures to be taken? Okay, great. Well done. Yeah.
We have a picture with all the judges.
Yes.
Miss Ivana, Miss Annette, and Mr. Paul, and your Honorable Sir. Please welcome on stage. Mr. Joseph, it would be nice to also have you on stage. Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together one more time. Woo! Thank you, Chief Judge, and your panel of judges for the difficult job. So, as we are wrapping up, I would love to call on stage Mr. Jumanne Mtambalike, the CEO of Sahara Ventures, for the closing remarks. Karibu tafadhali. People are tired of clapping hands, eh?
Actually, my father used to criticize why people are clapping hands. It doesn't make sense, success and clapping hands. Okay, great. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Again, I would like to appreciate all those who have spent time. The goal of Sahara Sparks, the platform, is to spark conversation as well as to push people to come up with solutions to most of the problems that we are facing. I was trying to catch up with something within my office, but again, I could hear those discussions around who is to blame between the hubs and the startups and everything, things that have been happening every day. When we were discussing with UNCDF to do something specifically for startups, one of the biggest challenge we faced was we wanted to actually get a later stage startup to pitch for the marketplace. But the challenge is there are not enough investor-ready fintechs in Tanzania that you can present to a commercial later stage investor. So the challenge was, how do we create more of this? So when we're trying to do the analysis, we saw there's a lot of startups, a fintech startup in Tanzania. So LifePlus, MyChai, LocalFin, JointPesa, AidTrader. They're somewhere here. They already have like some sort of an MVP. They're trying to move to the next stage, but they've stayed there for like forever. So they have pitched in more than 10 different events, and every year they continue to pitch. So the key question is, how do we make them cross the valley of place to the next level? Because we are dying to see cheaper cash, FruitAwave, and all those multi-million African zebra coins are also emerging from Tanzania. And we'll be very excited for that to happen one day. So you have the FEMA Agri, you have Swahilis, you have Tunza, you have Mimosa Concierge, you have Nilipe, Wezesha Sasa, Slotex, all these other fintechs that are operating in the ecosystem right now. Mascom, Cellcom, they are already enterprises of themselves. But again, the problem is still here. How do we actually support the likes of Safari Wallet with serious financing, not the 10K, the 15K, the 20K, like the serious amount of money that can actually make them to leap their growth to the next stage? That's a question that I'm leaving to every stakeholder in this room, but that's just one portion of a puzzle. The second portion of a puzzle is, again, we should admit we have crisis in terms of technical and professional support offered by most of our local hubs. But again, it is not something we should be complaining or blaming to the local hubs. While so many hubs in Kenya and Nigeria, they've been around since 2007, 2008. 70% of the hubs in Dar es Salaam started in 2018. So they are literally 3 years old. So you have a hub which is 3 years old, is supposed to mentor an entrepreneur of 9 years old in the market. So the crisis will definitely be there. So the issue is, how do we equip these hubs with the right resources and tools so that they can be able to support the entrepreneurs? Because those are supposed to do capacity building to entrepreneurs themselves. They also need. So it's happening in Dar es Salaam, in Tanzania, it's happening across the continent. Even the stories of these other bigger companies like the Chip Vacation and others, like trending information about the African unicorns, they have some familiar traits, like the familiar behaviors. They are co-founded by founders who have exposure capital. They've stayed in the West, come back to Africa from strategic, have worked in the corporate sector in Africa. So they're on S6, they know how to establish relationship. They are formed by people who are from so they understand the financial dynamics, they understand how to exit, they have very clear exit strategy from the beginning. The likes of Andron, they worked in the financial sector for more than 8 or 9 years before getting into the startup game. And then you have this fresher from University of Dar es Salaam, just 6 months after graduating, you want to create a unicorn and make 100 million. So it doesn't work like that. So we need to create that ecosystem, the support system, the support structure that allows these businesses to be able to be in a stage where they can actually attract this capital. And it goes all the way beyond just giving them cash, supporting them with strategies, supporting them with strategic partners. And that's why Sahara Sparks this year, we have tried, like literally we've tried to bring the banks, we've tried to bring in the telcos, we've tried to bring in everyone because we feel this is more of a marketplace beyond just a conference where people can meet, can collide, can come up with new ideas and strategies on how they can work together. So our manifesto as Sahara Venture, we believe the best way to solve a problem is to build a business around it. And our focus primarily is to solve, not to complain. So we can decide to throw words and complain to each other, or we can decide to fix our situation. Somebody just tweeted me and sent me messages, you know, you're doing all these events this week, but still the gap between us and Nigeria is too huge. I'm like, okay, move to Nigeria then. So, so the issue is our ecosystem. We have to fix it. If we see a problem, we fix it. We can decide to complain all day or find solution. And I'm very excited. If you look at the quality of the startup that pitched today, I'm saying we're moving to the right direction. And even the startup that will be pitching tomorrow. And there is no better time to be a startup founder in Tanzania than now. Like everyone, like the universe is coming together to support founders. Like the government is putting the right policies, the development agencies are trying to come in, the telcos are opening up their ears to listen what's happening, the banks are starting their sandboxes. It has never been a perfect time so you can decide to capitalize this opportunity that is coming to your direction or to complain and tweet all day. So that being said, thank you so much to our partners. Thank you so much to you guys for spending time here with us, for this event during the Future Imagine Week, part of Sahara Sparks. Let's continue the conversation, but please let's make them productive conversation that push us toward finding the solution. Asante sana and have a very good day. Okay, I declare this event officially closed. Oh. Studio 19 was on that.
Yamani, shout out to our online audience, please. Woo!